In the near future, the American government launches a nationwide chemical attack with the aim of resetting society. This attack leads to the deaths of millions of people within just a few minutes. Afterwards, the government takes no steps to restore order, leaving the survivors with only two options. Either join one of the gangs that have taken over regions and are in constant conflict, or become part of the group known as the domestics, who only want to live in peace. A few months after the attack, a domestics couple named Mark and Nina are preparing to travel to Milwaukee to find Nina's family. While they are loading their belongings into the car, Mark's friend warns him about the dangers on the road. However, Mark insists on going, saying that he has to support Nina, because even though they were considering divorce before the attack, he still loves her. During the journey, they turn on the radio in the car. The announcer reminds listeners to stay away from highways, to be cautious of snipers, and to shoot and kill anyone they see wearing a chador, since they are assumed to be members of the chador gang. After a while, the car's engine starts to malfunction, and the couple stops at an abandoned repair shop. While Mark is trying to fix the car, 3 men enter the shop. They don't realize that the couple is in the back room. As Mark quietly tries to return to the car, a truck suddenly crashes into the shop. Members of the chador gang in the truck open fire and kill the 3 men inside. Mark tries to start the car, but several attempts fail. The noise he makes attracts the gang's attention. Luckily, the engine finally starts and the couple manages to get away just in time. On the radio, it's revealed that the chador gang is at war with another group called the Nailers. In the afternoon, they decide to take shelter in an abandoned house for the night. While Nina searches for food and supplies, Mark checks the rooms of the house. In the bedroom, he finds a couple who have been brutally attacked and torn apart. The bloodstains make everything clear. As a final act of mercy, Mark covers the bodies. Meanwhile, Nina tries to reach her mother with an old radio, but gets no response. When night falls, Mark updates the map and then falls asleep with Nina. However, without their knowledge, a man is secretly watching them from outside. The next morning, the man who watched them during the night and his companion are captured by a group of nailers. The gang threatens to kill them with a saw and demands to know where a woman is. Terrified, the man reveals Nina's whereabouts, but despite this, both he and his friend are executed by firing squad. A few minutes later, the couple hears the sound of nailers approaching the house on motorcycles. Nina quickly runs up to the attic, puts on her headphones, and tries not to hear what's about to happen. As the nailers begin searching the house, Mark quietly moves around with a screwdriver in his hand. He kills one of them by striking him on the head from behind. Then, he wrestles with the nailer named Dean and brings him down with a blow to the stomach. He finishes Dean off with a final strike to the eye, killing him as well. After this, the couple gets in the car and drives away from there. But without realizing it, someone is still watching them. During their journey, they hear a new report on the radio. A woman from the Cherry Gang is rescuing women on the streets and killing everyone who stands in her way. The couple finds a supermarket along the road and stops to get supplies. However, inside they encounter an armed man. Their fear doesn't last long because the man takes off his mask and shakes Mark's hand. His name is Nathan, and he says he's been observing them for a while, wanting to see if they were friendly. Just as they're talking, a car approaches. The 3 of them immediately hide behind the shelves. The nailers enter the market and start looking for Nina. But before they can take more than a few steps, they are all shot and killed by Nathan's son, Stephen, who is hiding behind the counter. After this incident, Nathan invites the couple to dinner. Together, they leave the place, with Nathan towing Mark's car from behind with his tow truck. As the couple is about to leave the parking lot in Nathan's car, their path is blocked by a gang known as the Plowboys. Their leader, Jim, says that they're patrolling the area because the Gamblers gang is nearby. A woman named Betsy is being held captive in the Gamblers' truck, and Jim explains that she is the Cherry mentioned on the radio. However, at this point, he already has his eye on Nina. Although Stephen stands guard and points his gun, Nathan actually has a good relationship with Jim. Thanks to this, he convinces them to let them pass, and the group continues on their way. But what they don't realize is that Dean is actually still alive. Later, Nina and Mark sit down for dinner with Nathan, his wife, and their 2 children. While the tension between Nina and Mark becomes apparent at the table, Nathan and his wife treat each other lovingly. They even dance together. However, after dinner, Nathan confesses that the hamburgers were made with human meat. Feeling nauseous, Mark asks Nathan not to tell Nina the truth and says he wants to leave immediately. However, Nathan threatens them with death and forces them to stay in the house. At that moment, Dean enters the house and uses Nathan's daughter as a shield. He demands Nina and Mark. Without hesitation, Nathan agrees to hand them over to save his daughter. As Dean pushes the girl forward, Stephen secretly circles around from behind and slashes Dean's ankles. Dean falls to the ground and his gun goes off. The bullet kills Nathan's wife, while Mark pulls Nina away and escapes. Stephen jumps on Dean and starts stabbing him repeatedly. Even though Dean reaches for his gun, the fight continues inside the house. Outside, Mark and Nina hear several gunshots, but without looking back, they escape in Nathan's car. Once they're on the road, Nina says she no longer wants to travel with Mark, and the couple starts to argue. Meanwhile, the gamblers spot the couple and spin a wheel. The wheel stops on the skull. This means the sniper has to shoot. The bullet hits Nina in the shoulder. Mark immediately turns the car around and decides to head back to town. Meanwhile, Nathan calls Jim and tells him he can hand over the couple to him. Jim excitedly goes to find his men, but finds all of them dead. Just then, Betsy knocks Jim out by hitting him on the head with an iron pipe she is holding. Then she frees all the women who were held captive by the gang. She takes the guns from the table and drives away in a police car. A short while later, Betsy becomes disturbed by the noises Jim is making in the trunk. She stops the car and shoots him in the leg. At that moment, she notices something moving in the forest and, forgetting her keys in the trunk lock, goes after it. The next morning, Nina wakes up inside a cabin with a bandage on her shoulder. Mark is not there with her. He has left a note saying he just went to look for food. When Nina tries to leave the building, she finds another note warning that the door is booby-trapped, so she exits through the window instead. While wandering around, she finds a car in the garage. Deciding to escape on her own, she goes inside and packs her bag. At that moment, she finds more notes. One of them tells her to listen to music. In another note, the record with her favorite song is pointed out. In the last note, Mark apologizes and asks her not to give up on their marriage. Overcome with guilt, Nina decides not to leave, stays in the cabin, drinks heavily, and dances to her favorite song. Betsy watches her for a while. When Nina takes a break, she returns to the car and finally kills Jim. Meanwhile, Mark enters an abandoned house and finds two captives with bags over their heads. He is shocked when he removes the bags, because the captives are Nathan and Stephen. At that moment, an armed psychopath named William appears behind him and forces Mark to drop his gun. William, saying that he loves violence, brings out his slave, Big Bill. According to him, Bill and Mark must fight to the death. Otherwise, he will shoot Nathan and Stephen. With no other choice, Mark prepares to fight. In the first move, he kicks Bill in the groin, but his punch is blocked and he collapses to the ground from Bill's punch. Then Bill tosses Mark around, kicks him in the stomach, and lifts him by the neck to choke him. While William watches this violence with pleasure, Mark manages to break free by headbutting him. But Bill immediately grabs him again and throws him into the furniture. Afterwards, as Bill tries to break Mark's neck, Mark bites his arm. Bill, enraged, throws him onto William. This time, Mark starts wrestling with William for the gun. During the struggle, the gun goes off and the bullet kills William. After this, Mark sets Nathan, Stephen, and even Bill free. Each of them goes their own way. When Mark returns to the cabin, he finds Nina asleep on the couch and carries her to bed. Later, Nina wakes up and sees Mark practicing shooting with his gun. She asks him to teach her how to use a gun as well. While they're busy with this, Betsy sneaks into the cabin and finds Nina's wedding ring. After target practice, Nina takes Mark to the garage and shows him the car she found. Mark gets emotional because he used to own the same model car in his youth. Reminiscing about the old days, the couple grows closer in the back seat. But just then, the gamblers arrive. Because the car actually belongs to them, the couple is immediately caught and the wheel is spun. When the wheel lands on spades, Nina and Mark are thrown into cages and taken to the headquarters at the motel, which serves as the gamblers' base of operations. The place is utter chaos. People are drinking or fighting in every corner. The receptionist takes their names and, realizing they are married, sends them to a room called Snake Eyes. Here, a host begins to collect bets. While one of the couple's hands is tied to a chair, their other hands are fixed to the pistols on the table with a drill. A single bullet is placed in each of the guns. This means they are going to play Russian roulette. The host says that if they don't fire when commanded, 2 more bullets will be added to the guns. If they survive all 6 rounds, they will be set free. Mark tells Nina to pull the trigger without any hesitation. However, Nina tries to negotiate. In exchange for putting 3 more bullets in Mark's gun, they will only play the game for 2 rounds. The host agrees to this. The bullets are loaded and the game begins. The gamblers count down and both pistols are fired, but no one is hit. Unfortunately, in the second round, the only bullet in Nina's pistol goes off and hits Mark in the shoulder. Meanwhile, Wanda gets into a fight with another gambler who wants the betting money. While the host tries to break them up, he loses his focus. Nina struggles against her restraints and finally frees one of her hands, grabbing the gun from the host's boot. She shoots the man twice. Then by firing at the table, she frees Mark from his restraints as well. While helping the wounded Mark up and supporting him, Nina uses the gun as a threat. She shoots the host again, killing him as he begs for help. Wanda wants revenge, but there is no one armed in the room. So, for now, they allow the couple to leave. But as soon as Nina and Mark step out, Wanda and the others rush to grab their weapons. While the couple tries to find a working car, snipers on the roof prepare to open fire. But just at that moment, Betsy appears and kills the snipers. Nina and Mark speed away in a car. Even though Wanda and her gang rain bullets after them, they can't hit their target. Frustrated, Wanda takes out her anger by punching a man next to her and then declares that they will go after Nina. A few hours later, Mark finds himself in Milwaukee at Nina's childhood home. The neighbors tell Nina that her father died of an illness and that her mother took her own life to join her husband. They even have a letter as proof of this. After reading the letter, Nina asks her neighbors how they managed to live such a peaceful life in the suburbs. They explain that sometimes gamblers try to attack, but they set up barricades with cars, take turns standing sniper watch on the rooftops, and place explosives hidden in the mailbox attached to the wire fence. While inspecting the traps, Nina is delighted to run into Phil, an old friend of her family. Meanwhile, Betsy also arrives in the neighborhood and hides in the building across from Nina's house to keep an eye on the enemies. After a while, Nina notices that Phil is talking on the radio. When she tries to call out to him, Phil quickly runs back to his own house. Growing suspicious, Nina secretly follows him and discovers that Phil is in contact with the gamblers. She also realizes that the gang is about to launch an attack very soon. Just then, she sees a little girl on the street and quickly pulls her inside the house. The arrival of the gamblers is imminent. Nina gives Mark a gun and tells him to protect the girl, then goes outside to prepare for battle. As the gamblers get out of their cars and scout the area, Nina suddenly opens fire and kills several of them. The gang takes cover behind the cars and returns fire. Nina is forced to take cover herself. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Betsy fires her machine gun in rapid succession, quickly taking down a lot of gamblers. When the gang shifts their focus to her, Nina gets a chance to reload her ammo. However, a gambler approaches her from behind. Just as he's about to make a move, Mark fires from behind the window and takes the man down. Despite this, Wanda doesn't give up and wants to keep fighting. Betsy runs out of bullets and is forced to take cover. Nina, meanwhile, throws a homemade smoke bomb into the middle of the street. At the same time, inside the house, a gang member attacks Mark from behind and starts to strangle him. Mark breaks the horn off the man's mask and stabs it into his eye, then jumps on him and repeatedly stabs his chest, making sure this time to strike his heart. While Nina continues the fight outside, it turns out that Betsy has been shot. At that moment, the Plowboys gang arrives to avenge Jim, but they end up clashing with the gamblers. As the two gangs exchange fire, the Plowboys' truck easily smashes through the barricades. Nina immediately activates the explosive attached to the wire fence. The moment the truck touches the wires, a massive explosion blows the vehicle sky high. A neighbor keeping watch on the roof comes down and shoots the last gambler, but is immediately killed by Wanda. Inside the house, Betsy comes to Mark and returns Nina's wedding ring to him. Just then, Wanda enters and shoots Betsy in the head, killing her. Just as Wanda is about to shoot Mark, Nina suddenly appears and kills Wanda. Now all the gangs have been wiped out. Nina goes to Phil's house intending to kill him too, but Phil is already dead. He has a gang tattoo on him. On the table, she sees her father's favorite gun and takes it with her. As she's leaving, she notices the little girl looking at Phil's house with a creepy gaze. Rumors about a gang made up of children come to her mind, and she wonders if it was the girl who killed him. Later, Nina gives her father's gun to Mark. In return, Mark puts the wedding ring back on Nina's finger. After recovering from their wounds, the couple sets out on the road again. Their goal is to hunt down the gang members and protect the other pets.